Are you ready to go?
Yes.
Ready?
Okay, you're all set? All right, Donald, we're all set?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. All right, good afternoon. Today is August 3rd, 2015, and this is a special meeting of the members of the New York State Liquor Authority. In attendance, Chairman Bradley in Albany, and Commissioner Kim in New York City. Other staff in attendance is General Counsel Klug in New York City, CEO Bryan, and Secretary Held in Albany. Today's calendar consists of one item. Counsel's office presented a proposed emergency summary order suspension. It's been marked agenda number 1717R for license serial number Nassau CR 1204302. It's issued to Warehouse 5 Incorporated, doing business under the trade name of Warehouse 5, located at 50 Waterfront Boulevard in Island Park. Counsel?
Yes, members, the Council's office did intend to present a summary order of suspension today against licensee Warehouse 5 on case number, 106960. Licensee. It's our understanding that the licensee wishes to surrender the license now based on a large number of sales to minor during an operation that was conducted by the local police department last week. Is that correct, Mr. Mailer?
Yes, it is. Do you want me to speak?
Yes.
Martin Mailer, Mail Yosemite. Good afternoon, Commissioner Kim, and good afternoon, Chairman. I found out about this the day after it happened. I received a phone call from my client, who also expressed disgust to me in terms of what happened. He didn't realize this had gotten out of hand the way it had. He deeply regrets what happened, and he told me he immediately wants to shut down the entity known as Warehouse 5. He was no longer going to have any teen nights or anything of that nature. The reason I'm here, and I'm here to surrender the license, I did put in sort of a conditional no contest based on what I knew at the time, and I still don't have any of the underlying facts, but I will not disagree that there were a number of sales to minors on the evening in question. All I asked counsel at the time was, there are a number of existing catered events, weddings, bar mitzvahs, sweet 16s, things of that nature. I attached that to the papers that I presented. And I asked that the licensee has another license, which actually abuts the one in question. And I was asking that one-day permits be given until such time as I can file an alteration application to extend what is a catering license next door, something called Bridgeview Yacht Catering, into the establishment that used to be known as Warehouse 5. I can assure you that there will never, ever again be any sort of open-ended teen party on on Tuesday night or any other night. All that will happen from this point forward will be a number of catered events, which they've had up to now anyway. It's my understanding, I may be wrong, but it's my understanding the only problem that this premises has, this premises has, but the area has, are these teen parties, and that they've never received any flack about the catered events that took place over many, many years. So with that, I don't know what the formality is, but I'll hand the licenses, there are 3 of them, over to counsel. And if there are any questions, I'll answer what I can.
3 licenses?
Ad bars.
Oh, ad bars.
Ad bars. So, Mr. Mailer, so your client was operating on Tuesday nights as well as Friday and Saturday nights. The Tuesday nights being teen parties, the Friday and Saturday and possibly Sundays were catered events?
Correct. I mean, there may have been other catered events on other nights, but the only night that had the teen party was Tuesday night. As far as I know, they're Friday and Saturday night. I don't, and maybe Sunday. I don't know of any other night, but I don't know if there was any other night.
But so when you say catered events, I just want to be clear. These are private party events where the owners have full control of the premises. It's not catered as in you give out a contract to a promoter who then ends up throwing his own private party, and they just cater the food part of it.
No, that wouldn't be a catered event under the definition of the ABC law. No.
So you're defining it under the ABC catered.
No,
okay.
yeah, absolutely. That there has to be a predetermined party with so many guests, and it's for a specific event, and, you know, the
Well,
caterers.
that sounds like it could be a promoted event so
No,
far,
no, no, no,
according
no,
to your definition.
I'm sorry. If there's any doubt in your mind that this is nothing other than a bar mitzvah or a wedding or something of that nature, no, it will not be anything other than. I did submit a list to you going through.
I did, and I'm looking at the list, and most of it specifies Suite 16,
Right.
wedding reception, postnuptial,
Right.
social for a particular group. I get that, but
Right.
then there is, it just says 7/30/2015, which I guess already passed. It just said party, and I don't know what that means.
Offhand, I don't know either, but
But that happened. There's one called Social, it's on December 3rd.
I can find out. I believe it's either a Sweet 16 or something of that nature, or, you know, some engagement party. I can verify. I don't know what they are offhand, other than what I've given you. But I can tell you that they've already applied for, I believe, 4 permits, and they're very specific in the permits as to what they're about.
Mr. Mueller, I have a question. In reviewing the file, it looks like there is a capacity for 350 people in the catering hall itself, and that's where the kitchen is. So why would they want to have these events? And because none of the events go over 350 people, so why wouldn't they have the events in the already licensed catering establishment?
I asked the same question because the catering establishment is booked as well. There are enough. This is apparently a very popular spot. I think it overlooks the water. And I can give you the schedule of the events at the catering hall, but I believe there are parties at the same time that there are parties at Bridgeview. And Bridgeview, I'm sorry, at what was known as Warehouse 5. I believe Warehouse 5 only did the party when the other thing was booked.
Okay.
So you want us, you're surrendering your license, but you intend on us granting you permits for this same location for parties?
But never a teen party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah. Some of these parties have been scheduled, I think, as far back as 3 years.
That's not really relevant to me.
Well, I would ask on the grounds that you temper justice with mercy in this instance. There are people that have been calling up on a daily basis asking what the status is, and they're being told that this is going to happen this afternoon, that I would present the matter before the members, and I'm asking that.
I understand that, but you know, the papers I read indicate that the police department came in and gave a pretty specific warning about what was going on, and walked out, having just did one sale, came back an hour later, and all hell was breaking loose.
Mr. Chairman, I have not seen the particulars of this thing. I'm not going to doubt what you're telling me. I'm not here to be any litigious in any way.
I'm not getting into the facts either. But my point is the behavior. The fact that the police came in and basically gave them a warning and said, "This is what we see happening. It needs to stop," and it didn't stop. It got worse.
Mr. Chairman, I spoke to the owner that night. He was not there, and I'm not using that as an excuse. He relied on his managers. You see, it's my understanding, and again, this is what I'm getting from my client, that over the years he's spoken to the police, and he had no indication this year that there was any problem at all. I mean, he deeply regrets this. He's not in any way saying this didn't happen. He's not in any way trying to make an excuse for what happened. It's just that if you say that that's in the report, I have no reason to doubt that that's in the report. But if somebody had shown me that report, I could have spoken to whoever was on duty that night and found out what they were told. I don't know.
One of the people on duty, I believe, was his son.
His son? No, I don't know. I don't want to say yes. I don't want to say.
I think one of the bartenders was his son. I'm gathering that since they have what appears to be the identical names.
Chairman, we have Lieutenant Brown here from the precinct who was there that evening, if you'd like him to address.
I will talk to him. I just want to raise one other point, though, that really is disconcerting to me, is there was $56,000 recovered, and there were over 900 people in there, and only 5% of them had bracelets on. So, do the math.
Well, no,
500
no, but Mr. Chairman, if I think I can answer that one. There's a fee to get in. There was, I don't know, $20 or whatever.
Is it a $500 fee? 900 people, correct.
So,
$56,000.
56,000 was recovered. My point is that if only 5% of them had bracelets on, pretty much everybody was drinking.
Mr. Chairman, again, I can't comment on that. I do know there was a fee to get in. I do know that that these premises all have banks. I can't speak on behalf of why, what, and how unless I haven't heard any of this until 2 seconds ago. So
I understand that, but you're asking us to give some level of mercy, and I haven't been doing this that long, but this is the worst thing I've seen since I've been here.
Well, I've been around for 40 years and I've seen a lot worse.
I'm sure
but that's
you've seen worse.
that's
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen worse.
but that's neither here nor there. I'm not poo-pooing or belittling what happened. There's no excuse for what happened. There shouldn't have been, I don't know, 15 arrests or whatever it was. There shouldn't have been. If you want me to speak on behalf of my client in terms of not doing or to being, being vigilant, no, I won't. I can't. But at the same time, this is atypical of who he is. This Tuesday night party should not have gone on. It went on. He thought through his managers that everything was good this year. Obviously, that wasn't true. He deeply regrets it. He wants to shut it down. I came to council voluntarily before anything came up, because I had convinced him that this probably was the only way. And again, there are many legitimate parties that have been planned well in advance. And I hear you. I'm not saying that because the parties exist that this all should be just swept under the rug. He's going to lose these licenses. I mean, we're not arguing that. And I don't know what the lieutenant's going to say, but I would think that he's going to say that anything other than this teen party never caused the police grief. So I don't know what to say other than that. I mean, maybe the lieutenant should say something.
Commissioner Kim, do you have anything, or we'll listen to the lieutenant?
I'd like to listen to the lieutenant. I have a number of things, but I'd like to first hear the lieutenant.
Okay.
For you, but after I hear from the lieutenant, please. Lieutenant Brown?
Good afternoon. Lieutenant Brown, Nassau County Police Department, Bureau of Special Operations.
Good afternoon.
Do you have any questions for me before I...
No, please. First, I'd like to hear you speak.
The operation that I engaged in and that I conducted on just this past Tuesday night was designed to more or less catch Warehouse 5 serving underage, which apparently has been going on for a long time. It's my stance and the police department's stance is this was not something that just happened one night or 2 nights or 3 nights. This was the business model for this particular establishment. 956 people were in the establishment that night. As you stated, Chairman, one of my undercover police officers estimated that less than 5% of the people in there were 21 years old. As you stated, $56,000 was taken. Yes, there was a door charge. I think the door charge, we did the math, it came out to somewhere around $29,000, so the other $27,000 or so was made selling alcohol to mostly underage drinkers or underage customers. In regard to them filing or applying to get a license in regard to Sweet 16s, bar mitzvahs, I went through the case reports for the location, and I have 10 incidents where intox-aideds were moved to the hospital. Every one of them was under 21 years old at the time of the incident. 2 of them came from Sweet 16s. So it's not just the Tuesday night affairs. Apparently they have a problem keeping alcohol out of the hands of 16-year-olds at Sweet 16s as well. The Nassau County Police Department stance, and the reason I'm standing before you today, is that we do not want them open for any reason.
Lieutenant, but
questions?
the authority didn't have any hearing about that for the first time right now.
Okay?
Okay, we don't have any
Yeah,
record
we
of that
had discussed it on the phone, and you would ask me to bring that
to collect them. I
didn't
haven't
have the-
seen any
I didn't have the
documentation
opportunity.
for
I do
those.
have them here. like I said, there were 10, and every one of them, every aided case where an intox person was taken from the location, brought to the hospital, every single one of them was underage. Not one of them was 21.
And what is the time span of these cases?
You asked me to go back 4 years. It goes from 2012 to 2015.
Okay.
Don't bartenders need to be 21?
18.
No, 18?
On top of that, those are just the aided intoxes that we know about. I count here, there's, for the time span that you asked, there's 52 occurrences where the police department was called to the location. The list ranged from assaults to criminal mischiefs to resisting arrest to disorderly conduct. I have them all here. There's 52 of them. It's an ongoing, never-ending saga at this location. The community is obviously thrilled at the fact that we finally were able to get in there and more or less catch them red-handed doing what they've been doing for a long time, which is serving underage customers.
So those incidents, were they from, you said they were from the Tuesday night incidences and the catered events?
This is, yeah, I didn't just go back on Tuesday nights. I don't even know how to do that. I just went back for the location through our computer system to bring up all the incidents that took place at that location.
Okay.
And when you said this wasn't a one-night occasion, the teen night, and it's been going on for a while, approximately, do you have records that tell you how long the complaints have been coming in since?
I didn't actually have time to get all the complaints that we've got in the police department, and I'm not sure that we actually have a database for that to research. This is a database for our computer-aided dispatch system, so it tells us when we're dispatched to call, so it's pretty easy to get that information. In regard to complaints, I don't know. I did speak to one of the members of, I think it was the vice president of the Civic Association on Saturday, and she said she's been complaining for 13 years about this
Underage.
particular location.
Specifically underage teen night, or just just this location?
I think it's the location. The day after we made these arrests, the president of the Civic Association was on TV with News 12 doing an interview, and she did say that it's commonly known that the bouncers and the bar staff there, or the bartenders, allow them to drink underage. My police officer, who was present inside, actually used the word disgusting when he said what he saw. He was disgusted by it. The level, he said, there is absolutely no restriction on alcohol. Anybody can get a drink at any time. I proved that by sending one person. I had 2 underage agents. One of them actually did the purchasing. My request to that agent was to please purchase alcohol from each bartender at each bar. She completed that task in about 35 minutes. So the average it took her was 3 minutes to move from one spot to another spot and make a purchase. There are no restrictions. Mr. Vitale can send his attorney here and say that he was totally unaware of this. Well, if he was totally unaware of what was going on, because it was right in front of you, then obviously he shouldn't be managing somewhere where they serve alcohol.
We don't have a record of the premise being licensed other than the current license.
Jackie, it is licensed. It was licensed before under Oceans Avenue. It was, I believe it's 5080 Waterfront.
Okay, because we have one license under 80 Waterfront and one license under 50 Waterfront.
That's what we have now. The prior location was all of it. It was licensed under one huge venue, and it was problematic, and then it kind of morphed into these 2 separate with a different owner.
That's when Mr. Maller's office came in and did the new licenses.
No, I believe it was Mr. Warmachowski was the one.
Warmachowski.
Bridgeview was there before Warehouse 5, and that was very problematic for the police department as well. A staffed detail had to be put in that area almost basically every night of the summer, manned by 10.
Not just on Tuesday nights, you mean just?
No, this is every night of the week.
For private parties?
Well, those are actually just open to the public as bars. Patty McGee's, which I believe Mr. Vitale owned, Bridgeview. So, again, we had nothing but problems down there during that time period, and went on for years.
Now, those 10 people you said who were all under age 21 that ended up in the hospital from the parties, do you have records of that?
I just have a spreadsheet, and what I did was I just wrote down their actual age and their date of birth next to the spreadsheet. I actually looked and brought up the case reports on my computer.
And when's the first occurrence of that?
The first occurrence that she asked me to go back for 4 years. The first occurrence was on August 1st of 2012, so exactly just about 3 years ago. And then we've had 10 since then that the police department has actually removed them to the hospital. And those are all, there are many other
They removed them
agents,
from the premise to the hospital?
either the premise or directly
Or
in front of the
directly in
premise.
front?
Right.
But they were called to the premise
Yes,
to take them to
correct.
the
They were
hospital?
called to that location. There are a lot of other aides for other reasons. These aides are specifically for being intoxicated, and again, every one of them under the age of 21 at the time of the incident.
Okay. Anybody else have a question for the lieutenant? Okay, thank you, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Mr. Mailer?
Thank you. First of all, the lieutenant has said many things. He's spoken about many different places, and he's spoken about many different times. The New York State Liquor Authority has a policy of a good record. In terms of the Bridgeport venue, there aren't any, so I don't know what he's talking about. In terms of things that took place back in 2009, and 8, and 7, and
12?
6.
What about 12? 2012?
Okay, again, he's talking in generalities. If I am not going to defend Tuesday night, first of all, I know the premises is not open on any other night except Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, and the Tuesday.
Oh, you
I mean,
said
there
you
may
weren't-
be-
you
there
said
may
you
have
weren't
been-
sure, right?
No, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say with 100% assurance, but I'm virtually certain that that premises was not open on any night other than Tuesday night for this teen night, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I can also state that there was an earlier charge against this licensee, Warehouse 5, I think earlier this year or last year, and both of those were dismissed by this authority due to altercations, et cetera. So
What were those charges? The underage drinking? Sale to minor?
No.
No,
what?
disorderly. They were
Disorderly
dismissed.
premises?
So they were all dismissed, and in terms of, well, I mean, I was there, you wasn't, but there were people that approached the premises and were turned away. I mean, I know one specifically who actually jumped into the canal or whatever.
Right, so I
that
think
is.
the main issue right now isn't disorderly premises. I think it's sale to underage minors.
And I'm not going to make excuses for a Tuesday night. Tuesday night doesn't exist. I don't know of any. I've represented this man now for about 3 or 4 years, and I don't know of any incident of a sale to minor that's been reported to anyone. I mean, of a sweet 16 or a bar mitzvah. They have very strict standards for those things. I'm not making excuses for Tuesday night. Tuesday night they had what they had. They may have had promoters. I don't know exactly what the deal was there. It's gone. It won't come back. I'm telling this tribunal that these type of things only took place, and again, not to make an excuse for Tuesday night, but it only took place on a Tuesday night, and there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be hurt very badly if he can't at least file for the permits and allow for these legitimate parties to go on. And if the authority wants additional security or something of that nature, I'm sure we can tell the police department what the security is, have them okay that these people are all right, and if that's what you want to.
Oh, I mean, normally I would just say you can't have anyone under 21 ever go into this premise, but all the are going to be under.
No, I know,
21.
but
they're going to be under
those-
18.
To my knowledge, and I can't speak with 100% assuredness, they have never, ever, ever, ever caused the problem, ever.
Members, we didn't have any of the referrals for any other sales to minors other than this incident that happened last week. And that's why when I was speaking to the lieutenant, informing him that we were preparing the summary, I had requested all other police referrals be sent here. But the lieutenant has them now. I haven't seen them as to what those are. And prior to all of that, well, not prior to that, immediately sort of after that, Mr. Mailer called me, not knowing that we were preparing a summary, offering to surrender the license.
This was voluntary. This was not.
I then informed him, well, we were preparing a summary for the place.
And I think Mr. Mailer's been around long enough to know what was about to happen, so I don't really, I appreciate you coming in beforehand, but I don't put a lot of weight in that.
Well, again, most times, and anybody can attest to this, I'm usually here because I'm about to start an Article 78. Nobody here is suggesting an Article 78. Nobody wants an Article 78. So I am not in any sort of litigious mood, and I instructed my client that this had to stop, and he agreed. He was embarrassed by this. He actually was embarrassed by this, and
You haven't really addressed the report by the lieutenant that in 3 years he showed up at the bar, or the police showed up at the bar to aid 10 separate underage individuals, 2 of whom were at Sweet 16 parties. I realize you don't know about that.
No, but I would refute that. I would deny it. I mean, I would say that it did not happen. If he'd give me dates and the date was some date other than a Tuesday night, I'm not going to say Tuesday night wasn't a problem. But I also know, like I said, this one where somebody came to the door and was intoxicated coming in and was refused entry, and then decided to take a swim to try to get into the place. So, I mean, they did. As far as I knew, they were doing their job in carting people on the way in and didn't let everyone in, as the suggestion is. Again, Tuesday night was Tuesday night. I'm not going to argue, but I'd also like to say one other thing with respect to, all right, so there's like a $20,000 or $30,000 entry fee that totals that number. There were banks, and they serve Coca-Cola in the place. They serve soda. They serve soft drinks. I mean, just to go to the leap of conclusion that everybody in the place was intoxicated, I think is really a stretch, and I would take exception to it.
Do you think it's a stretch to say that 75% of them were drinking? The Coke is $1.
I don't know to tell you the truth, I don't know what any of the prices are.
I don't know that you want to go down this road.
I don't want to go down any road, to be perfectly honest with you. All I'm asking is that a very bad chapter of this place has been eliminated. We've handed in the license. I am just asking that for the moment that these existing parties be allowed, that have been booked, and that there are a bunch of people calling up, that they be allowed to continue with their parties. We will file an alteration application. No one is saying that that's, that this is all contingent on getting any of these things, but I would hope that all of these things are judged on their own merits and not on allegations that I can't say yes or no to. I mean,
I don't think anybody is judging it on the allegations. I think what we are questioning is that this is a one-shot deal. That this is just on that Tuesday night it got out of hand. I find that almost impossible to believe. I realize that's what you're being told, but I just find that impossible to believe, and I think the information we're getting has indicated that this place has been a problem, and it probably has been going on for some time.
But until 10 seconds ago, you didn't have any information. I find that quite strange. As somebody, as you say, has been around for a long time, the police are not shy in submitting. In fact, they're supposed to, under the ABC law, submit referrals. So
That's a good question, why that hasn't occurred.
August 1st, 2012, that first reported incident, I looked it up in the calendar, it's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday?
It's a Wednesday.
If
I mean, we could do it. It's very easy. With technology.
I'm sure it is very easy. But I'm at a loss to defend something if I haven't seen anything. And
No, I understand. But the argument that this was a one-time Tuesday event.
No, it wasn't. I'm not saying.
Fireball whiskeys were $7. Beer was somewhere $6 range. Coca-Cola is probably then going to be less than $6, I would assume. So the amount of alcohol that was sold that night just would be astonishing.
There are also banks.
People. What do you mean banks? What does that mean?
A bank, before the place opens, they have to feed bank. They have to.
Oh, you mean have change to have?
Yeah. So look.
So you're the CNC is that you're surrendering for cancellation of the license, but you want one-day caterers permits, or you're here just to surrender. You're here to cancel.
I can only surrender the license. I don't think I can make a condition on getting into these other things. I just want.
Counsel's office made that clear, that there was nothing else that was dependent upon this, and we are of no authority.
Including these one-day permits.
Including, I said I would not oppose one-day permits. to October 1st, but
October 1st?
just that council's office wouldn't offer opposition towards them, not that council's office makes any determination upon them, because we don't.
Council's absolutely correct, and you asked me, and did I not say that I understood that?
Yes.
I mean, I did understand that. I was not, this is not a condition of surrendering the license. You already have it. I couldn't get it back if I wanted it back.
Well, you actually have to sign it because your
No,
client
actually,
didn't
I'm-
sign it.
yeah, no.
Mr. Mailer also made representations about the intent to file an alteration application, which I also stated that the authority made no representations about whatsoever.
And I understood.
Well, I'm gonna request every one of these. Then if that's the case, then I'm gonna request every one of these permits come before us as well.
Yes, they have to. In fact,
Well, they
I
don't
Before
have to
the
come to
board.
the full, they don't have to come to the full board.
Oh, I spoke to Chief Executive Officer O'Brien about it. So it's not like, I'm not looking to try to slip this
Oh, no,
past
I know.
anyone.
I know that.
So no,
That's gonna be, I mean, are you all right with that, Commissioner Kim, or did you have more in mind?
So what you're suggesting is that we cancel the license, well, let's leave that aside, but with the permits, you're saying that every permit would need to come to the full board or to CEO
Yeah,
O'Brien?
to us for approval, yeah.
When is the next event?
So I see 8/8, there are two events.
He's got it,
and those were submitted already.
8/11, there's an event, which is our next full board, no, it's not our next full
That's
board
the-
meeting. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more events prior to our next board meeting.
All right, why don't we have a conference about this off out of the room? With council, with council.
Sure.
Chairman,
Lieutenant
the
Brown.
lieutenant wishes to speak.
Well, okay. We're gonna come back.
I understand, sir. I'm not sure, I don't know how your system works. I just thought maybe I wasn't going to be heard. He accused me of making allegations. Everything I stated is a fact. Okay, we have paperwork that backs it up. Let's not forget, December 3rd, there's a social. Does anybody know what a social is? I have no idea what a social is.
Yeah,
Social is going
that's
to be
what I
whatever
asked.
they want the social to be.
Right.
Excuse me.
December
I didn't-
3rd.
I did not speak when you were up here. Okay? Let me speak. Thank you. Now, the other item is, he's plainly stating, yes, we made mistakes here, but we won't make mistakes here. And I guess it's up to you to believe that. I personally do not. He makes it like this Tuesday night thing was just, it was an apparition. It was something that's not going to happen ever again. And this was the business model. It's apparent, and you brought up the facts, Chairman, the amount of money that was spent, the amount of alcohol that was consumed by a 95% group of people that were underage. This was the business model. Let's not be, fooled into thinking that they did not know what was going on. This is how they made their money, all cash, by the way. You don't need that much in the bank. I was actually a part of the seizure of the money. There was not that much money upstairs in the bank. Most of that money was taken out of the registers, and most of the money was taken out of the till when you walked through the door. That's where all that cash came from. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll take a short recess to conference with council.
We'll go.
Okay, we're live.
All right.
Do you have any questions of me? Can I say anything, or should I just?
You can say, you can say whatever you want.
All right, well, I mean, look, I'm not here to excuse what he did. These other things I don't know about, and I mean, with all due respect to the lieutenant's background reports that things happen. That's an allegation. That is not a proven fact. I mean, that has to. But again, I don't want to play attorney right now. I'm just, on behalf of my client, I am asking that you somehow combine justice with mercy and allow existing parties to go on. I can, if there are conditions that you need in terms of additional security, we can agree to that. I mean, if every one of these things has to go in front of the full board, obviously I have no problem with that. I can clarify this. I was looking while you were out. I was looking at these events. Other than that one thing that says social, they're all pretty clear cut, I think, between Sweet 16s, weddings, reunions, things of that nature. But I mean, if you need clarity in terms of what exactly is going on, we'll supply you with that. All I'm asking for is that that these parties at least be allowed to go forward.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, bud.
Anything else from up there?
No, I think we're ready.
Okay. I think we have to first address the proposed emergency summary order of suspension, and I'm going to vote to not summarily suspend at this time. For the record, the license has been surrendered, and we've accepted the license. And then as to the CNC, I am going to counter with a cancellation of the license and a $15,000 monetary fine.
I can't answer that now, but I can get back to you very quickly. I would think that that is acceptable, but I can't say so. All right.
All right, Chairman?
I would agree with that proposal.
Okay.
Okay.
Counteroffer of cancel in 15.
Okay.
So when can you get back to us? Because I'd rather not, you have a lot of events coming up and you don't want to wait for a letter here.
No, I don't. No, I absolutely do not. I can try right now. I don't know if I can get a hold of them right now, but I certainly by tomorrow morning can get you an answer. You want me to try now?
Sure.
No, we can, well, whatever Commissioner Kim says.
Yeah, I
is
mean,
fine.
if you can just try a call right now.
I'll try, but I don't know if they're around. But if not, but for certain by tomorrow morning.
Okay, well, you could just give it a try. We'll just get it over with and make.
And just to clarify, this will cover case number 106-960 and 99520, correct? Covers both cases that are with the...
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, it does.
Yes, I'm just putting it right out there. Okay, it's
Yeah.
for both cases.
Okay.
Yes. While we wait, can we go off? I don't think we need to stay on, right? Do we
No, we can go on.
Just mute.
just adjourn for
Okay, or about it.
All right, I need 5 minutes. Texting is going on as we speak, so I mean.
Chairman, it's up to you if you want to wait
No,
or
that's
we.
fine. That's fine.
All right, thank you very much. All right, I'll be back. Thank you.
Are we ready?
To the cancellation.
Okay, thank you.
So, are we,
I'm sorry, could you
oh, I'm sorry.
repeat that? We weren't,
Okay, I, after consulting with my client is willing to accept the $15,000 in addition to the cancellation.
all right, verbally accepted, got it.
What?
I just said it was verbally accepted.
Yes.
The counteroffer was verbally accepted, thank you.
I mean, I can put it in writing tomorrow.
No, that's fine, I'll take your word for it, you know, we're recording this.
That's true.
Okay.
All right, is there anything else?
But what I don't understand are these events. We have two of them coming up on Friday and Saturday night. Does it still have to, I mean, you're meeting now.
No, it's gonna, we've decided, I think that we're just gonna let them go the course through licensing as they are, and we'll see, and they'll either be denied or approved through licensing.
That makes sense. Do you need any addition, does Chief Executive Officer O'Brien need any additional material? She does.
I'm going to talk to the licensing board members of the permit unit and see where they're at with the applications, and I'll have a decision for you by tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Have a good day, everybody.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mallor.
Thank you. Wait, can I just put on the record, I'm sorry. I especially want to thank Council Flug and her assistance here. No, thank you very much. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, let's wheel him back to the